Something is happening in 2026 that most people sense, but very few can explain clearly. Men are leaving the United States in record numbers, not loudly, not dramatically, quietly, methodically, and it has nothing to do with politics the way people think it does. This isn't a rage story, it's not an escape fantasy, it's a system story. A story about money, laws, dating, work, and how the ground shifted under men's feet while no one was really paying attention. Let me start with a simple truth. Most men didn't wake up one day and decide to leave America. They tried to stay, they tried to adapt, they tried to play by the rules. But over time, the rules kept changing, the risk kept increasing, and the rewards kept shrinking. And eventually a question started forming in their minds. What if the problem isn't me? What if the system itself no longer works for me? For decades, the American deal was clear. Work hard, build skills, play fair. You'll be able to afford a life, a family, and some level of dignity. That deal is breaking down. Housing costs exploded. Healthcare became unaffordable. Education turned into lifelong debt. Wages stalled. And at the same time, the social and legal environment became far more complex and risky, especially for men. Dating changed dramatically. Apps turned relationships into marketplaces. Attention became currency. Expectations rose, but trust declined. Many men found themselves investing more while getting less clarity, less stability, and more emotional and legal risk. And here's the part few people want to talk about. The legal landscape changed too. Harassment laws expanded, workplace policy shifted, social norms tightened, and while protecting people from harm is important, the implementation created a reality where many men feel one accusation, one misunderstanding, or one bad interaction could permanently damage their lives. This created something new, not anger, not rebellion, but caution. Men became quieter, more reserved, more calculated. They started asking different questions. Where can I live affordably? Where can I work remotely without being crushed by costs? Where can I date without constant tension? Where does my money go further? Where are the rules clear and enforced consistently? And once remote work, online business and platforms like YouTube became real income sources, a door opened that had never existed before. Geography stopped being destiny. A man earning in dollars but spending in another country suddenly had options his father never had. Options that weren't about luxury but about balance. That's why places like Thailand, Colombia, Eastern Europe, and parts of Southeast Asia entered the conversation. Not because men were chasing fantasies, but because they were doing math. Let's talk about Thailand for a moment, because it keeps coming up for a reason. Thailand offers a lower cost of living, modern infrastructure, strong internet, and a culture that still values calm, respect, and emotional restraint. Men who felt constantly on edge in the US describe something different there. Less hostility, less tension, clearer social rules. Dating feels different too. Not easier, different. Less confrontational, less performative, more grounded. Thai culture emphasizes harmony and saving face. That doesn't mean submission. It means conflict is handled differently, quietly, privately, with restraint. For many men, that feels like breathing room. Now, here's where people get it wrong. This is not about running away from responsibility. It's about seeking environments where effort is rewarded proportionally, where mistakes are not automatically catastrophic, where a man can rebuild, focus, and grow. And money plays a huge role. A man earning $5,000 a month in the US might feel broke. The same income elsewhere can mean stability, savings, healthcare, and time. Time to think, time to build, time to heal. That's not privilege. That's arithmetic. The same thing is happening in the creator economy. Men are realizing that traditional jobs no longer guarantee security, but platforms like YouTube, podcasts, and digital products offer something different. Ownership, leverage, scalability. But even here, there's a trap. Most creators never monetize. They grind for years and earn nothing. And when they finally realize the system doesn't reward effort but structure, many feel betrayed. So they start again, smarter, leaner, often from somewhere cheaper. This is why you see so many creators abroad now. Not because they hate America, but because the economics make sense. And here's the quietest part of this story. Most men who leave don't announce it. They don't argue online. They don't try to convince anyone else. They just go. They build quietly. They adapt. They focus on health, income, and peace. They stop trying to win arguments and start trying to win their lives back. Now, does this mean every man should leave the US? No, absolutely not. But it does mean the old assumptions no longer hold. Staying is no longer automatically safer. Leaving is no longer automatically reckless. What matters now is alignment. Does where you live align with your income? Does your legal environment align with your risk tolerance? Does your dating culture align with your values? Does your work align with your energy and goals? Men are no longer asking for permission to ask these questions. And this is why the conversation feels uncomfortable to some people. Because it exposes a truth we don't like to face. Systems don't care about loyalty. They care about inputs and outputs. Men are adapting not out of bitterness, but out of awareness. And awareness is contagious. You don't hear about this on the news because it's not dramatic, it's not explosive, it's quiet optimization. Men choosing environments where they can breathe, build, and belong. And here's the final point I want to leave you with. This isn't a men versus women story. It's not America versus the world. It's not right versus left. It's about a generation realizing that the rules changed and deciding to change their strategies instead of breaking themselves trying to play a losing game. Some men will stay and rebuild locally. Others will leave and rebuild globally. Both paths require discipline, self-awareness, and responsibility. But pretending nothing is happening won't stop it. The world is more connected than ever. Options exist where they never did before. And men are quietly, intelligently, and peacefully exercising those options. That's why men are leaving the US in 2026. Not to escape responsibility, but to reclaim agency. And that's a conversation we're only just beginning. If this story resonated with you, make sure to subscribe to A Voice Podcast. We appreciate you for being here, and we'll keep having the conversations most people are afraid to have.